Offensively, Gunnar Stockton, 20 of 26, 156 yards, didn't have to throw a lot, 3 touchdowns. And for Alabama, the stat that's going to come out of this, -3 rushing yards. This SEC Championship postgame report is presented by Belfour Property Restoration, here with former Penn State tight end Adam Brenneman and CBS Sports College football insider Richard Johnson. Adam, did you see this coming 28-7 and what Georgia was able to do from start to finish?
Yeah, I did not expect a dominating performance like this from Georgia. Listen, Georgia squeezed the absolute life out of Alabama in this game. Alabama never looked in control of this game. Ty Simpson's head was spinning out there. It was a masterclass by Georgia defense coordinator Glenn Schumann, who really outdueled Alabama OC Ryan Grubb. I mean, the pressure that Georgia was able to bring, the way they caused chaos in this game. You mentioned the shocking stat. Alabama, -3 yards rushing in this game. You're not going to beat any team in college football with -3 yards rushing. It was a dominating, fierce performance by Georgia.
Yeah, we're talking about the lack of rushing yards. Let's talk about carries here. You only had 8 carries for Alabama because they got game scripted out of this game. Look, I'll tell you this much. Don't tell anybody in that building in Athens that the SEC Championship game doesn't matter. Don't tell any of them that you're in the playoff anyway, so maybe you should sit, maybe you should rest. They had their best stuff for this game because they took it seriously, because they wanted to hang a banner for winning this league. Kirby Smart said it last week after the Georgia Tech game. I was there in this same building. They wanted to be back here. They weren't sure when they left Atlanta last week if they would be back here, but then the Texas A&M game finished, and they realized that they would be playing for the SEC Championship game. It mattered to these Georgia Bulldogs, and they played their best. I do not think I've seen Georgia play a better performance start to finish than I saw tonight. I know the Texas game was really nice a few weeks ago, but this, from snap one to the final whistle, incredible performance for the Dogs.
It was really what they were able to do in the first quarter, right? Georgia blocks a punt, 4 plays later, they get a touchdown. They set the tone early, right? Georgia set the tone early, which was something that they struggled to do for most of the season. They were a second-half team. It was always the joke, had us in the first half, right? And now they have found a way. They have come on strong end of season here.
Yeah, that was exactly the kind of game control Georgia wanted to play in this game, and it puts Gunnar Stockton then in really good positions where he doesn't have to force the ball down the field. Georgia can run the football because they have the lead and just kind of do what they do best. Play great defense, stop Alabama's run game, and you just have the lead all game long. You know, Gunnar Stockton, I thought, played a phenomenal game here just by, number one, not turning the football over. And you see right here, 3 touchdowns in this game for Gunnar Stockton. He was efficient. He was poised in the pocket. His offensive line gave him tons of time. He was really never under pressure.
30 passing attempts. Alabama was able to keep everything in front of, Georgia was able to keep everything in front of them with those split safety looks, 2 safeties back, and they were able to stop. Well, it's not like Alabama really ran the ball much at all, but they were able to stop the run when they needed to. And Alabama goes 4 of 16 on 3rd and 4th down conversions. When Georgia had to get off of the field, they did.
Ty Simpson went the wrong way, right? 6 passing touchdowns, 4 interceptions over his last 5 games. You consider 20 passing touchdowns, 1 interception over his first 8 games of the season. We certainly put
in 3rd down and long. The average 3rd down to go in this game for Alabama was 3rd down and 8. I mean, especially against a defense like Georgia, your head is spinning at quarterback because you don't know where pressure's coming from. You got guys coming from all different directions, and it never allows a new quarterback to truly settle in. But it's concerning if you're Kalen DeBoer. There's a true regression from your starting quarterback. And as a head coach, the number one thing you have to do is get your quarterback to play well. You have to help him process things. If you're Ryan Grubb, the offensive coordinator, you're getting paid a lot of money to make sure Ty Simpson can process fast and make smart throws. We have not seen it last few weeks.
You mentioned Ty Simpson under duress. In many ways, this is a continuation of the second half of the Iron Bowl last week when Auburn really bowed up and Alabama's offense short-circuited in the second half of that game once they went up 17-0. It's a continuation of that Georgia was able to keep that going and keep that Alabama offense really looking like they didn't know what was going on today.
what's your evaluation of the Georgia Bulldogs heading into the college football playoff?
There's not a team in the playoff who wants to play Georgia right now. This defense, number one, they can stop anyone in the country. And then when Georgia plays offense the way they played in this game, get the lead early, control the ball, when Gunnar Stockton plays the way he did, most impressively, the offensive line for Georgia gives Gunnar Stockton time to make plays down the field. The best number for Georgia, 4 of 4 in the red zone, 4 appearances, 4 touchdowns in the red zone. All 28 of their points came on long drives, touchdowns down there inside the 20. That's the impressive part. I think Georgia is one of the most dangerous teams going into the playoff.
Absolutely.
Last week, after they beat Georgia Tech, Kirby Smart said something. He said, we're going to use the break, and at that point in time, they weren't sure if they were playing in the SEC Championship game, but he said, we're going to use the break to add to our encyclopedia of offense and defense. That's the word he used. I thought that was so key. Yes, Georgia had the bye last year and sat all that time from SEC Championship until New Year's Day. They're going to do it again. How will they handle that? I'm sure they would have learned something, I should say, from last year's experience doing that. Kirby Smart said that they've consulted other teams that had to deal with it as well. I think they will handle it much differently this year, and they will be better for it. I thought that they were not ready for what Notre Dame had for them last year when they came off the bye, given Notre Dame had played a first-round game, and they were a little bit slow starting in that Sugar Bowl game. And obviously debuting Gunnar Stockton in that game for his first career start. So let's see how they handle the break differently heading into the bye week this year, or the bye for the first round this year.
And Georgia will likely be the number 2 team in the college football playoff when the rankings come out on Sunday. The Big Ten champion will likely be number 1. Let's say the situation here for Alabama is a question mark, right? We thought maybe that the committee insulated Alabama, putting them at 9, but now questions arise. I want to take you back to Tuesday to what someone said on this very desk.
3 touchdowns or less they have to lose by.
Okay.
If you lose by 21 points or less, I don't think they're impacted.
So 20 were good.
20 were good. 20 were good. I mean, I really think it would have to be an absolute butt-whooping in order for them to fall out like 30 to 40 points, which isn't going to happen.
Okay. Adam, they lost by 21. What say you now?
I would say 21 points is the gray area. Anything under 21 would have been okay.
You called it, man.
I got it right on. A 21-point loss for Alabama. Listen, 21 points is enough to start this conversation, but I really think Alabama still gets into the playoff. You get into this conversation around Alabama played an extra game in the SEC title game. It's really hard to punish them and get them and move them out of the playoff because they got to this point in the season. Now with 3 losses, not all 3-loss teams are the same. Alabama's different than any other 3-loss team right now. I think Alabama will and should stay in the playoff. But listen, one more touchdown they would have given up, I think they would have been out.
Look, I'm telling you this. I'm having Adam Brenneman fill out my lotto ticket next week.
Yeah, you should have done a score prediction. You should have done a score prediction. So you're telling me you're not going to punish Alabama, but you're going to punish Miami?
Well, Miami's not in as of right now.
I know.
Yeah.
But that's what people that are rooting for Miami and that will have a campaign, they're going to take shots at Notre Dame and they're going to take shots at Alabama now.
Yeah, the difference is that Alabama was in as of last Tuesday's bracket. I don't think anything that happens in this SEC Championship game, unless they would have lost by 30 points, as I said on Tuesday, they would be out. Since they played in the game and lost, they should still be in the playoff. Miami, because they didn't make the ACC title game, something they controlled, it doesn't get the benefit of that conversation.
Bingo.
The games have to matter, though.
But Alabama exposed itself to a 13th data point,
Correct.
and a 13th data point loss should not necessarily kill you and knock you out. I do think at the end of the day, for Miami, as I've said on this desk for the last couple weeks, I think they're really happy that BYU lost the way that they did. I think now it's time to measure truly the head-to-head between Notre Dame and Miami. I know that Miami fans have been yelling about it for 6 weeks at us, but they haven't really done it. The committee has not really done it. I think they are about to do it tonight and tomorrow morning.
So you think Alabama is firmly in the playoff?
I don't know about firmly in the playoff,
Okay.
but I do think Miami is in the playoff. I think Miami's in.
What chances, if you are giving the Sportsline projections, if the Sportsline projections, according to Richard Johnson, are what for Alabama?
I think Alabama has a really, really high chance of getting in. I think Miami's about a coin flip, but a little bit better. I think Miami's probably like a 60-40 case. I think Alabama's pretty firmly in. I know it didn't look good to